having grown up in Australia in a very small culturally specific community, from the very early age onwards, I was quite aware of being the other, belonging to another culture, even though we succeed in the general communities we live in around the world. We are always aware of our own culture. So when that makes you interested, when you are in various countries, one of the things you have to do is respect the other culture. So America has been very kind to me. I've been coming here once a month for 15 years, and I've been treated very well. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a journey among the, when I say Indians, I mean Indians of this country. When I have to refer to Indians from India, I would refer to them as East Indians, so to make the distinction, because I normally say Indians are thinking of Omahas and people like that. You know that even the state is named after Omaha word, Nebraska, meaning the land of flat water, and Omaha means people against the current. They have been around for a while. And I've been very lucky that, you know, from very early onwards, when I first started working with the Indians, they took an interest in me, and then they began telling me things which I would listen. And it took me 2 or 3 years to understand. And this is an old friend of mine, Omaha, and he said, you know, if you make a medical error, I will forgive you, but don't make a human error, you know. So they said to understand, this is, he said to me initially. And also, you would hear the word mita kuye oyasin, means we are all family, we are related. If you want to know about the Indians, you really have to know relationship. You know, everything is about relationship and family, and I will give some examples of that. First of all, I have to thank the person, as you know, she couldn't be here this morning. She was selected as the Robert Wood Johnson Community Health Leader because of her association with Creighton. And I would like also to thank all the professors and students and OTs, PTs and pharmacists and computer people, nurses who have come and helped us in the Indian country. And so we can understand what friendship means and how the friendship has been beneficial. Let me tell you from the very beginning that, you know, I do not see very many university tribal connections like the one between Creighton and Omaha people. You know, we have benefited enormously from the relationship. And also early on you will realize when we're working with the Indians is that the hierarchy is very different. They're not interested what you do, you know, that they're interested in whether you are a good person. And it's not who you are that matters. It really matters what you are. You know, so who you are matters, not what you are. You know, your doctor, physiotherapy, occupational therapist has less meaning to it. These are the people I have worked. This is like my family in America, because I have worked with them for all the years, continuously worked with these people, and I'm so glad that some of them are here. And Rosie, at the moment, is in Cambodia, in helping me with my project. So, when did my association start? This is a book on Susan Lafleche-Picot. She was the first American Indian doctor. She was in Omaha. And you can see on the right-hand side, Omaha, Nebraska, 25th of March, 2000, gift of Gail Jensen. So when I met her, she gave me, and I still have the book, and it's about the first doctor, Omaha Indian doctor. That's when my relationship with Creighton has started, and with the faculty. And since that time, I've not only met Susan Lafleche-Picot's great-granddaughter, I've also met the great-granddaughter of Ohiesa, or Charles Eastman, who was the first Indian male physician. Some of you might know that Dartmouth College was founded to educate the Indians. He graduated from Dartmouth. And of course, my friends from Creighton. I mean, Joy has a wonderful last name, right? Doll. Joy Doll, very perfectly fitting. And also, all the people, if I've forgotten somebody's name, please forgive me, trying to think of people I have had contact with: Marty Therese, Professor Conway, Brenda Coppard, Marilyn Goulet, Jennifer, who was the first contact for us, remember her? And Michelle was the second one. And then came Joy. Kate is there now, and Maria O'Donoghue is a person who has been communicating with us. She's been very good. So I thank all my friends from Creighton. So let me talk a little bit quantity and quality. When I'm with the Indians, I don't have to show any of these things because really they're not interested where I went to medical school. So I've graduated from London. I did internal medicine in Australia, endocrinology in Australia, and endocrinology at Washington University and University of Miami. When I first went to see the Indians, I decided to go for 1 month before going home. In 1 month, I realized that all the things I've learned is not going to help taking care of people. You know, I said I'm unprepared with all my training of internal medicine and endocrinology. And the Indians whom I worked with first was Nesquatia from Tema, Iowa. They told me in no terms that my way of thinking will not help them. And they offered to help me. So you can see that 15 years later, I'm still here. And I have a very strong association with the University of Havana, Cuba, where I have been living for 10 years before I moved to Paris. International health in a few countries. That's Chakwaka, it is new car. That is a quantitative introduction. For the Indians, you just say you're a friend of the Indians. That's all enough. You know that in 15 years, nobody in the Indian country has ever asked me where I went to medical school. No, you know, but they won't ask you a question like, how old are you even? They'll say, but do you have children? Do you have brothers? Do you have sisters? So you have to understand that you're dealing with the people who think qualitatively. You know, so that quantity, a lot of times, because biomedicine is so quantitative, you know, the numbers and medications, etc. So you may not have any effect unless you understand that the Indians think qualitatively. Briefly, when we were students in Australia, we already know about occupational therapy, because occupational therapy and physiotherapy are pretty strong in Australia. In fact, as I say here, about 10% of the allied health people are occupational therapists. It's fairly large, so that we also realize that, you know, we need their help as a team to get things done. Same with the physiotherapists. We have 13 courses, and just next year, I told Dean and other people that next year they're going to start the doctorate, clinical doctorate in physiotherapy, University of Melbourne in Australia. If you are thinking of going to Sydney, there's the annual meeting. So I'm going to put a lot of information on the website. Maria will put that up. There'll be a large bibliography of up-to-date bibliography of culture and health, quite a bit of it. And then also a lot of things, my own writings about culture and health and travel and all that. So it'll be on the website. If I had to recommend 2 books, I would recommend Paul Farmer's Pathologies of Power. What Paul Farmer has done, he's an American doctor anthropologist. What he has done in Haiti is fantastic. And he talks about how healthcare can be used as an oppressive force rather than alleviating the societal suffering. The second book is clinically oriented. It's called Culture, Health, and Illness. It's by my professor at the University of London, Cecil Hellman. He's very clinical, but he's also a doctor and an anthropologist. And this textbook is used around the world as an introductory course in medical anthropology. As I mentioned, you know, the anthropology is something I think, you know, all healthcare professionals should get an introductory course in anthropology, not just 1 hour a year or something like that, a continuing course. Because I have really